Okay, great to have you all on board this Monday. Adam Bjornson, Mike Rice with you, and patiently waiting for us now and ready to spend a few quality minutes with us is one of the Blazer assistant coaches. That, of course, would be David Vanterpool. Just getting off the bus in Boulder, I'm guessing. Is that where you're at tonight, David?
Yeah, we just made the bus trip from Denver, plane landed in Denver, and up here getting into Boulder now.
Hey, first off, I got a funny story. Since I am off the entire summer and I've got literally hardly anything to do, I'm going through some old VHS tapes from my days back in the Tri-Cities. I'm looking for a story, and there up comes David Vanterpool as a member of the Yakima Sun Kings. Now, I knew your name sounded familiar, and then as soon as it popped up, I was like, he was a star for the Yakima Sun Kings. Did you know that, Rice?
Absolutely.
Yeah, under Paul Wolpert, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah. Paul Wolpert was our head coach, absolutely.
Small world.
And I'm sure you got a lot of knowledge from him.
Oh, yeah, definitely did. Tried to absorb everything I could. I was a little bit younger then, and I actually had a great time in Yakima. We really had a really good team.
Now, you're one of the up-and-coming assistants. I know you won't say that, but I will, watching all the assistants. How much do you study other teams, other coaches? Do you have time to look at, if I were a head coach, I would use this system or that? Do you study in your looking at game preparations, what other guys are doing?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we do that pretty constantly. I know I do. I try to pay attention to as many of the different coaches, head, assistant, and any coach, as a matter of fact, just because I feel like you can learn something from pretty much everyone in every situation. And Mike, even when we have our discussions about different things from time to time, I try to absorb that as well and maybe incorporate it in opportunities. But, every chance you get that you're on the court or trying to coach guys up or teach them this, that, or third, you think about what you might do if you were in the head position.
A lot of coaches aren't good teachers. They're good with X's and O's, and they look at offenses and defenses. I noticed you from day one were a great teacher of the game to improve players' game, their dribbling, their when to drive, when not to drive. How did you pick that up?
Well, I mean, I've always felt like that to learn how to teach, you have to be a student first. And, like I said, there's so many things that you can learn in life in general. It's much on the court as well as off. And, if you just take the time to kind of absorb and listen, a lot of people don't really listen. They do a lot of talking and, try to, I guess, finish people's sentences in different situations. But I know I try my best to listen as much as possible so that I learn and in turn can relay information. I mean, it becomes a transference of information. So some of the stuff that I've been able to try to teach some of our guys, I've definitely gotten from someone else.
Trailblazers assistant coach David Vanterpool joining us here on Trailblazers Courtside. And David, you're out there at training camp right now. It's got to be a nice level of comfort for yourself, the rest of the coaching staff, to know what you've got in place. Not a lot of new faces aside from Blake and Kamen coming in this year. It's got to be pretty easy for you guys, right?
Yeah, it is. It's a relief to have that situation after last season. After our first season, it was a little bit different. So, just like anything, every season is different, and you do start off with a bit of an advantage having similar players come back because they know your system, they know what you expect of them. You can tweak things as opposed to having to incorporate a whole new situation. So, it does help. It helps advance things to an extent. But at the end of the day, we still have to execute. We have to get on the court. And, just like you guys know, the Western Conference has gotten better. The Eastern Conference has gotten better. And we have to be able to meet those challenges.
They always say there's one or two guys that are there 2 hours before and they stay and shoot after practice. Who's your best listener, best worker? I know this Blazer team really works hard. Can you pick out one or two guys that really lead the rest?
Oh man, that's actually tough. Obviously Damian works his behind off consistently, and he's had to manage, I think, some of the coming early, staying late stuff for his body so that he can play in these games. But all of our young guys, C.J. McCollum, Alan Crabb, Will Barton is still getting after it consistently. Thomas Robinson, Myers Leonard, Joe Freeland. I mean, we've got, a number of guys that make sure that they put that extra time in, put that extra work in. And I think that really comes from their desire to get more playing time and get more of an opportunity. So, they're looking at it, first of all, by example from some of our other guys who set the standard. And, they're stepping up to the plate.
I picked my top 8 teams in the West. It's prediction time. We have to do this.
Brace yourself, Coach.
Yeah, as announcers.
Okay, let me.
Maybe you can.
Let me hold on to something.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Now, maybe you can help me. I love what New Orleans has, and I'd like to put them in the top 8 as one of the playoff teams. But I have to be able to. When you put someone up, you got to take someone out. And all the teams that made it last year are so good. I think most of them will be in the playoffs. But I'm looking at Denver if they're healthy. I put them down. I put Memphis down, the Suns down, the Jazz, and, of course, Lakers, Kings, and T-Wolves. I don't have them in it. But in order to put New Orleans up, and I have the Mavs 7th and the Rockets 8th, am I missing the boat anywhere with Denver and Memphis, especially Memphis?
Memphis is definitely tough. With Gasol and Randolph, they always got a chance. They got 2 guys that have been in this league for a long time and play at a very, very high level. And we play Denver tomorrow, so I guess I got to give them some kudos. Say their health will be a factor in their situation.
Because they got good personnel, right? Denver?
Yeah, they definitely have personnel. Flalo's there now and coming on, and they got some guys that can play.
Yeah.
But the thing about the West, it is truly the wild, wild West again, and it's a situation where you get down around 6, 7, 8, and it could be the teams that are in 9, 10, 11 could possibly be in those 6, 7, 8 slots in some situations. You know what I mean? So,
I know. Yeah.
It's really, really difficult to predict, which I think makes it fun, and it makes it more of a challenge consistently, and it raises the level of everyone's play because we know we're looking at Utah and they've only lost 1 game in the preseason, and they're not playing games with anybody. So
that's right.
It's the type of situation where there's nothing given, and I think that's great, especially for our team because it keeps us on our toes.
Now, one thing you might be able to help me with. Adam has already laughed at me. For the best record in the West at the end of the year. I don't have the Spurs. I don't have the Thunder. I have the Blazers 4th, Clips 5th, New Orleans 6th, Mavs 7th, 8th. I have the Warriors with the best record in the West by the end of the year.
Okay.
Am I crazy?
Okay.
That's where you were supposed to brace yourself.
No, I would. No, that's what I'm supposed to brace myself for. Well, wait a minute. I got to get up first.
He fell over.
No, I don't know. Like I said before, the West, nothing is crazy in my opinion. In all honesty, though, what was your prediction last year for the Blazers preseason?
I had them 7th.
You had them 7th. Okay, and we finished 5th. Finished 5th. Could have been 4th or something like that. So we're 3 slots, and now you have us 4th.
Yeah.
So hopefully you predict well, and
well, let me put it this.
That will put us close to 2nd somewhere in that range. So
let me tell you this.
Pretty good.
Let me tell you this. I had the Spurs 6th.
Ooh, okay, yeah. I like your predictions already. So you're telling us we got a chance.
Yes, absolutely.
There's
Golden State.
Yeah, go ahead.
Golden State is going to be, definitely be in the conversation. The way that they play offensively, the guys that they have coming back, their unit obviously feeling like they have something to prove is going to be dangerous. So, that's another team that that's going to be there and be some team that we have to make sure we're on our P's and Q's for.
In other words, there's nothing scientific to what you do, Mike Rice.
Right.
Yeah. You know what? honestly, we just flip coins when we make our decisions in our coaches meetings, and even if you take a closer look when the coaches get together during timeouts, you'll see someone pull out a coin, we flip one, and we figure out, okay,
yeah, right.
That's how. Yeah, and that's how I got to host the show tonight. They just flipped a coin, and it landed in my favor. It's crazy.
Congratulations.
Thanks, David Vanterpool in Boulder, Colorado tonight as the Blazers get ready to take on the Denver Nuggets tomorrow night. David, thank you so much. We'll appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, guys.